Hey everyone, Donald J. Brower, GardenStateHSWrestling.com, the Near Fall Back Points podcast. A little late than never, but what I say, don't call me late for anything but dinner. But we're coming to you, recording this Monday on the 12th. We are anxiously watching the seeding meeting for the boys region tournaments. So far from what we've seen here, it's been about pretty close to chalk with what you have. Lots of Del Barton saturation, lots of the big names getting through. We'll see if anything happens with some of the lower seeds, but that'll be up, and I'll post those a little later tonight, so they'll be up a little later on. Before we get to the business, we got to get to the real business, the sponsor, Dan Warnikoff, Champion Athletes. This is the time when he really pays off. When you see a lot of these guys out there and they're trying to cut the weight and they're trying to wrestle all these matches and they want to be healthy and have that energy, because I don't know if you notice, food equals energy. You eat, you get energy. Who knew? But if you want to successfully lose weight and still feel energized to go out there and be able to do it, Dan Warnikoff, Champion Athletes. We've said it before. We'll say it again. Pat Glory credits him with turning around how he was. He was fully energized in those last two state finals and wound up winning. And winning goes 2-4 in the state finals. And he credits Dan with that. Dan does it for Del Barton. He does it for wrestling. He does it for other sports. He does it for other states. He does it for non-athletes. Champion Athletes, Dan Warnikoff, please check him out. He's a big supporter of GardenStateHSWrestling.com, back when we were Morris County HSWrestling.com. But he's a big proponent, and we wouldn't be here without him. Please check him out. Now, it's a very strange week. Obviously, we're in a kind of an uncharted territory because we just had the girls' tournament this past weekend. Great hosting job by Phillipsburg. Not so great job streaming by NJ.com, but we'll talk about that later. That'll be my end rant. But we had a great run with the girls. Just some names, obviously, that had a great run. For 100, third place, Aaliyah Payne Paris of Newton. She's their first ever female medalist, so congratulations to her. At 107, third place, I'm going to mess this name up hard. I'm already prefacing it now. Liliana Zaku Ramos. Actually, I don't think I did that bad. Of Kittatinny was third at 107. 121, Katrina Kling of Warren Hills finished second. Kayla Vasquez of Kinnelon finished third. Down at 128, Kayara Montoya of Morris Hills finished sixth at 128. 135, Carly Anderson, who I've said before was my only ever female athlete of the week, finished second at 135. And Maura White of Jefferson, fourth at 135 as well. 143, the highest placeholder ever, the highest medal winner for females in North Hunterdon history, Jody Holder, second place. And if you recognize that name, her brother was a part of the team recently, and it's just a wrestling family. And, congratulations. I know Coach Ronco was super thrilled when he got his two qualifiers, as well as Sophia Lombardo, of High Point, also at 145 finished fifth. The other place winner for North Hunterdon, Lydia, I'm going to mess his name up, Ananazio. I don't think I did that bad. Fourth place. And then Kira Hubmaster from Kittatinny, 161, took second. And Jordan Brannick of Newton, fifth. And then finally, 215, third place, Marissa DiPaolo of Westmore Central. And fourth place, Lacey Hums of High Point. So congratulations, ladies. We really enjoyed the tournament. I was happy everybody got a chance to do it. But the one thing we've noticed when I said it was a strange time is we've been so used to having the girls and boys wrestle that usually when the state tournament's over, that's it. Now, because of COVID, obviously, this year, things have changed. You have the girls finishing their tournament. You still have this kind of strange week and a half coming up of potential dual meets where we're going to see some JV squads out there fighting. We're going to obviously have regions starting this weekend, which we're going to wind up doing. And this is hopefully we're going to be at the states. We're trying to see with NJSA about that, obviously limits and such about where you can be. We understand that. But after regions, each night we're going to have a podcast that we're going to get up later that night. We're going to try to talk to every region winner from the area. We're going to try to talk to, a couple coaches. So Saturday, we're going to have the first two sessions. We'll do a podcast that evening. That'll be up either late Saturday night, early Sunday. Same thing for the Sunday sessions, late Sunday, early Monday. So, we're going to have a lot of work obviously coming up with what we're doing. Now let's get to our top 10. Before we do the top 10, excuse me, I'm going to digress. I'm bouncing all over a little bit. Obviously, I'm checking who's seated where and all this stuff. So it's a little discombobulated today. But this week, we were looking at a few people for Wrestler of the Week. This is going to be most likely the first time I'm not having a Wrestler of the Week this week, just not in a bad way. There just was nobody I felt that really jumped out. There were some guys who had some good weeks, but there was nobody I thought that was super worthy. And there was a lot of people, with scheduling, with regions coming up, they were pulled and such, et cetera. So no Wrestler of the Week this week. Now, let's get to our top 10. A couple changes. Could have been more, but I'll explain that in a minute. Obviously, first in is still Butler. They've had a great season so far. They look like they're in the driver's seat for their conference. We'll see. I know they got a big match coming up, but they're my first team. Number 10, Pequannock. Great season so far. I know they just had a couple days ago, they just had their first ever outdoor match against West Milford, which they won 30-29. Congratulations, Coach Rapagia. Wonderful event, and it was enjoyable. Side note, I don't know if anybody saw there was an outdoor match that was on ESPN and the match blew up, but I digress. Number 9, Hanover Park. Hanover Park dropped a little bit this week, 1 or 2 spots. Obviously, they have some kids out there. They withheld Joey Oliveri just because obviously he's one of their favorites going to regions, but they wound up losing to Mendham in a pretty sizable way. So we wound up switching Mendham and Hanover Park. Mendham's my number 8, obviously, and we'll see how that kind of goes from going on, because obviously you're going to go with the best teams you have, and if your best can't make it, it's going to be tough. Number 7, Tackettstown. Like I said, just solid year. They've had a really good year, and we'll see how it shakes up, but I like them there. This is one of the matches that were postponed, and I really kind of kicked myself because I wanted to see how they match up, but Jefferson's my number 6. They had a match postponed with Kittatinny, which is their division match. Would have been great to see where they stack up, and you kind of give me an opening, because I kind of get an idea where Jefferson is. I kind of have an idea where Pope John is, who's my number 5, but I kind of want to get an idea and see you always like to see mat-based results, and you can obviously always do common opponents, but a lot of times that doesn't matter, because how many times have we seen a common opponent where one team blows up the other team and then they wind up losing to that other team? It's not a fair way to do it, but I just kind of want to get an idea because it's such a rough year. I always say Pope John's number 5. Number 4, High Point, 2 matches. I mean, High Point's had 2 matches, and that's just kind of the way this season's been. But I still think, you can't go about hopes and dreams. It's obviously nobody was hurt. It's not to their fault, but I would assume them to be, right up there. Number 3, Kittatinny, obviously, still a great year, has been on a great run. Got some young guys qualifying for regions. Number 2, Mount Olive. As I said, Mount Olive's had a great year. Don't know what it does. I say Mount Olive's got a good amount of guys who are, as I've seen early in the region seeding, looks like they're going to have a couple guys who can make a deep run, hopefully qualify for states. And obviously, number 1's Del Barton. That's not going to change. Del Barton is shut down, obviously, with the regions coming up. Their goal is to focus on, the individual part now. So they're not going to force anything. They're not going to try to make it out there and get everything done and see how that goes. But we'll see. As far as everything else, it's going to be really strange because there's going to be a lot of matchups canceled. There's one I really kind of want to highlight tonight that I think should be good, because it's tonight, technically Monday. We're recording this Monday. Monday, the 12th, is the last night. Region eligible wrestlers can actually still wrestle for their teams. 2 matchups I kind of want to see that I would really enjoy. In the national division, I want to see Roxbury at Morris Hills. These are 2 teams. They're both 3-0 in the division. This will essentially clinch whoever wins that division. It's going to be an interesting match because I think Roxbury matches up well with Morris Hills. Morris Hills has had some depth. It's going to be a coin flip match. I'm really looking forward to seeing that match. And the other one, Independence Division, Mountain Lakes, who was the presumptuous favorite going into season, hasn't been able to wrestle as well. And Madison's just coming back as well. We'll see how it is. It's almost like an early season matchup, and you can never judge those. I really, really want to see that matchup. Now, like I said, we're going to have our podcast this weekend. We're going to have 2. We're going to try to talk to as many people as we can. And like I said, I hope you tune in for that. Now, I have to discuss this because this is nothing against Phillipsburg. They did a great job hosting the tournament. Amazing job. Everybody said it was well run. Everybody said it was enjoyable. That coverage of that live stream by NJ.com was garbage. I don't care who hears this. I don't care who does it. This has nothing to do with the host. That was the most lazy, lackadaisical coverage I have ever seen. And it was a disrespect to every girl who put on a singlet and went out there and wrestled. That coverage was such an afterthought. It's disgusting. And if I was a parent of one of those girls, I would be so upset right now. And this is not just my personal opinion. This is the opinion of numerous people within the girls wrestling community of the area. And I want to use my platform to say something. If you're going to do something and you're going to agree to broadcast something, give it your all or let somebody else do it. Because that was ridiculous, lackadaisical. Everybody down in Newark and everywhere, it's on you. I don't blame the cameraman or whoever you set the camera up, which is ridiculous. I blame you. Take some pride in your work. How about that? This is a big moment for all these girls who went and didn't even know if they were having a season. For most of them, maybe wrestled 2-3 matches all year, and you phone it in and half-ass it like that? Garbage. 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 Speaking of garbage, I'm watching the news, and I see our governor, pumpkin-headed dipshit, and the wonderful man who's obviously crooked as shit up there, Cuomo, and his fake-ass Fredo brother. Still looking for you, Chris. Can we stop with the fear-mongering? Please stop with the fear-mongering. It's so blatant right now. You're trying to scare old people and single family. It's ridiculous. Stop. You know what's sad? It's so sad that the garbage coverage by NJ.com actually prefaced it at my political rant because that made me angry. I had to talk about that first. It's been a joke. It's an absolute joke. The politicians, please vote people out. Please vote people out when it comes up to election. They do not care. They do not care about your voice. I care about your voice. I care so much about your voice. I want more questions. Reach me at Morris County HSW at YouTube. We're on there. Facebook, GardenStateHSWrestling.com. Send me an email, admin at MorrisCountyHSWrestling.com or admin at GardenStateHSWrestling.com. I want to hear your guys' voice. Tell me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong and I'm hearing the wrong people about the girls' tournament, tell me. I'll make a correction. I have no problem with that. I'm not going to bury it on page 15 like other places do. But it's a busy week of wrestling. Check out later on. I'll have all the brackets up. We'll have them going from there. I'm going to do some predictions. I'll have the predictions up later this week. I'll have them up hopefully Thursday. Should be good. This is going to be one of those strange years where except if there's a possible COVID thing, knock on wood. I don't think there will be. Most of my predictions, you won't have to worry about a reseeding of some sort. No, I've jinxed it. Don't blame me. I didn't jinx it. But I'll have the seeds up, my guesses, my predictions for the regions. And until next week, for Jared, the podcasting legend, I'll see you twice. Double the pleasure, double the fun, double Donnie J. Brower. I'll see you this weekend. Have a good one.